Three, two, one. What's up, guys? King Crisis here. Welcome to the channel. If you guys are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you guys enjoy my content, comment down below some more video suggestions. Before I go too far into this video, I'd like for you guys to know this video is in fact a test upload, which means that most likely there will not be a part 2. But if it does good, of course I'm going to give you guys a part 2. The reasoning behind this being a test upload is this is the first upload from the PC, which means that most likely, like I said, something might be wrong with it. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with it, as I'm trying my hardest to make sure there's nothing wrong with, but hopefully there's nothing wrong with it. And with that being said, well, let's start this video. This story starts off in the Quirk doctor's office, where there you can see Izuku, who's shaking like crazy. The doctor will walk aside as there he didn't say, "Well, Mrs. Midoriya, your son Izuku here seems to have a very powerful quirk." Inko looks forward. "Well, what is it?" "His quirk is called Swarm. Izuku has the ability to control, generate, and manipulate insects at will. He can shape them, turning them into different types of insects. He can even have insects that will have the capabilities of eating quirk-based material." Huh? Inko was saying in confusion. "He has all types of bugs within his body, and these bugs are powerful enough to rip and shred through things. Simply put, he's a walking, talking hive. He has enhanced strength, speed, durability, and from what we can see, he has several possible quirk awakenings, but one in particular piques my interest the most. Izuku may eventually gain the ability to take on attributes from bugs, and enhance his strength, creating an exoskeleton like most insects do, and well, probably many, many more things." Inko has a smile on her face. Worse from here, Izuku will go off into school. Worse from there, everyone, after hearing about Izuku's quirks, they wouldn't praise Deku. They wouldn't smile at Deku. Many people would actually look at Deku as if he's a monster. One of the girls saying, "Ew, stay away from me," right? They would always run from Deku. No one played with him. No one hanged out with him. Izuku was always alone. Izuku had his head down most of the time. He was a quiet kid who only liked one thing: bugs. And everyone around him just really didn't like Deku, because Deku literally showed up with at least 3 bugs on him every day. They're all these weird and different, unique, rare bugs or shit that they just never heard of, and he has them on him at all times. He plays with them. He talks to them. It was just such a weird thing for a fucking person to do. It made no one want to be around him. I mean, why the fuck would they want to be around him? He likes bugs. It literally made it to that point where Izuku just kind of accepted being a loner. He accepted it because at the end of the day, well, if he don't have himself, fuck what everybody else thinks, as long as he got himself. So, Izuku would stay to that thought. He would stay to himself, not caring about what the others thinks about him. But of course, the main person that Izuku would feel a little heartbroken about would be Bakugo. Growing up, that was his best friend. And now, Bakugo wouldn't even come within 2 feet of him because of his bugs. And apparently, Izuku's a weirdo and a creep. It hurt. Without a shadow of a doubt, it hurt him. It made him feel different. That was about the only thing that hurt him. Everybody else, he just didn't care for. With that being said, we now time skip on over towards the last day of school, where from here the teacher will walk into the classroom. "I would hand out these career aptitude tests, but I know you all want to be heroes." The teacher throws the papers into the air, so from there he would turn and looks towards the other students. "Well, I hear that 2 students in the class are applying for UA, Katsuki Bakugo and Izuku Midoriya." The class would all just stop. They all slowly turn and look at Deku. "Ew," one of the girls would say. "The fuck?" As another would say, "How are you even gonna be a hero?" Deku would remain silent, not saying a word, with his purple eyes and white hair shining. Bakugo, on the other hand, stands up. He walks towards him and he slams his hand onto his desk. "Look here, you damn freak. I don't know what the hell you think you're doing, but you're the last person to be a hero. With your creepy ass quirk, the fuck are you gonna save? Huh? They'll run for you before they run from the villain, you damn freak. You fucking weirdo, you stupid little bitch." Deku simply places his head down, not really saying anything in response. Bakugo then says, "Fucking pathetic. You're gonna be a hero? If anyone in here is gonna be a hero, it's me. I'm gonna be the next number 1, and you need to get that through your fucking head, you stupid fucking nerd." Deku then would finally say, "I never said you wouldn't be the number 1 pro hero. I don't want to be the number 1 pro hero. I just simply want to be a hero." Bakugo then would say, "You want to be a hero? Your quirk is literally bugs. What are you gonna do, huh? Matter of fact, if you could be a hero, make me hurt right now. Hurt me right now. Do something right now." Deku remains silent. He doesn't make a move, and Bakugo says, fucking pussy. You can't do anything, you weak bitch. From here, Bakugo then would literally like throw a little explosion at Deku. And as he does this, Deku would just calmly dodge out of the way. Deku keeps his head down, whereas from here, the end of the day will come around. Bakugo would still try to bully Deku more by throwing his journal out the window. But as he does this, Deku lifts up his hand and a swarm of insects will shoot out of his body as they shoot upwards and lift the journal right back up to Izuku. Deku then returns, he then looks at him. You wanna know something I can do? My insects can lay eggs inside of anything. You think I can't be a hero? I'll make a perfect damn villain. As Zuko slowly turns, he looks towards Bakugo. Right now, there's a bug on the back of your neck. One so small, even if you pop it, you won't kill it. It can ingest. Well, my bad. It can insert its eggs inside of your body right now, spreading throughout your body like a damn parasite. It could kill you easily. And the only reason you're still alive is because I'm not letting it bite you. You need to learn your place, Bakugo. Insects are the most powerful and most dominant species on this planet. What are you talking about? There's over billions of humans and there's over trillions of insects. Probably gillions. I'm a freak to you, right? That's what I am, remember? I'll fucking kill you. Deku then returned and he calmly walks out with no one in the class saying a word. Like normal, he would still encounter the sludge villain and the sludge villain would still pop out. Now, when the sludge villain pops out, I can see this version of Deku trying to fight back, but to be completely honest, I know I said that he has an insect that can eat Quirk parts, but he doesn't have that insect quite yet. And if I were to make him do anything, he wouldn't get one for all. And simply put, I want him to get one for all. So we're going to say he simply struggles. And boom, All Might would show up and he still saves him. Now, this version of Deku still jumps onto All Might's leg because he has a very serious question. He looks towards All Might with his head down. All Might, do you think I could be a hero with a, well, weird or villainous quirk? All Might looks towards him. He simply smiles. Of course you can be a hero, kid. Anyone can be a hero no matter the quirk. He then looks towards him. It's not about the quirk, kid. It's about the user. Just as All Might says this, the smoke would settle as poof. He will be revealed to be in his small Might form. Deku jumps upwards. He's like, what the fuck? And he instantly asks him, who is he? With him lifting up his hand, and bugs begin to swarm out of it, turning into like a black cloud of bugs, similar to what Shinso does. My bad, Shino does whenever he activates his bugs. All Might looks towards him. He said, it's still me, kid. He just simply reveals the injury. I was fighting against a powerful villain many years ago, and as a result of the battle, I was given this. Deku looks towards All Might, and he just says, damn. But as he says that, you would hear boom in the background, which causes Deku to quickly turn around, and so would All Might. Looking off into the distance, there they would see, well, again, the sludge villain. Deku quickly runs and he jumps off of the roof, All Might panicking. As he does this, quickly a large swarm of bugs just starts flying in at crazy speeds. Flying in so fast with so many bugs, they're able to lift Izuku up like a cloud, and he's literally flying on it. From here, Izuku would land with the bugs dispersing. He lands with the rest of the crowd, where their All Might would quickly run off. Now, there he would see Bakugo being trapped inside of the sludge villain, and Izuku, in this moment, his eyes begin to glow. As slowly but surely bugs begin to pour out, Izuku then begins to start shooting bugs towards it. The sludge villain see these bugs flying towards him, and it swats them away with his sludge, over and over and over again, with Izuku rushing in. Now, Izuku runs in, several bugs begin to shoot out of his hands. As they wrap all around the sludge villain, Izuku then jumps upwards into the air before placing his hands on one of them in particular. He then says, expand! As he says this, he ends up controlling the size of the bug, causing it to grow to a massive size, being a giant creepy beetle. Deku walks towards it and puts his hand on the side of his face. He smiles before saying, end it. As the beetle bites the sludge villain smooth in half, Izuku jumps upwards and snatches Bakugo's body. With Bakugo being snatched out of the area, he looks towards Deku, throwing him back. I didn't need your help. Deku then looks towards him and says, well, I really can't tell because from what I can see, guess what? You were losing badly. As a matter of fact, it was touching you. It was going to kill you. So, before you get your ego rolling and get your panties in a fucking twist, clearly you fucking needed me. Fuck you. As Bakugo would walk off, Deku then slowly turns towards the crowd, where there are a bunch of heroes begin to yell at him, but then people begin to ask him, what is his quirk? What is his quirk? A little girl in the stands then would scream out, it's Bugs! As she literally jumps upwards and starts calling it cool. Izuku sees this and he's like, whoa. He thinks to himself, someone just called his quirk cool. And it was a little kid at that. He's shocked. He doesn't even know how to process that because, well, to him, his quirk was freaky. His quirk was weird. He never expected anyone, let alone a kid, to call it cool. A smile spreads across his face. He's never really been happier. But as this happens, Izuku decides he's just gonna go. He leaves, and as Izuku leaves, he will still be encountered by All Might, who will still tell him the same thing he would in the original timeline. And this version of Izuku accepts without a shadow of a doubt. Now, big difference is, Izuku has a base in hand strength and hand speed that makes him comparable to the levels of, I'd say, Winter Soldier, which is more than enough to take out some 0-pointers and 1-pointer, 2-pointers, but I still want to make him even stronger. So from here, he winds up inheriting One For All a lot sooner, allowing him to use it up to 15% with no issue. But as time goes on and on and on, during his time cleaning up the freaking beach without using his quirk period, Izuku eventually gets it to where he can use One For All up to 30%. With 30% usage of One For All and complete manipulation over the bugs, he gained the ability to now summon insects that has the ability to, well, eat away emitter quirk based attacks, which is insanely devastating in power. When All Might discovered this ability, he was shocked. Now, from here, that's really it. His bugs now, they just simply got an amp, right? He can control the size of the bugs. He can control how many bugs, create massive swarms. He can create bugs that can literally grow from the inside of your body. He can create bugs that can kill you in an instant. I mean, all in all, this man Zoo got some crazy bugs. So, from here, time skip on over towards UA entrance exams. Walking into the entrance exams, like he would in the original timeline, he would still encounter Bakugo. But Bakugo walks towards him and immediately says, the fuck are you gonna do, huh? You're really trying to be a hero, but how can you be a hero with that stupid quirk of yours? Deku looks towards him and he has a bit of a smirk, but he hides it. He kinda crackles his face down to a frown and he just simply walks past Bakugo. From here, we time skip on over towards as soon as the test starts. Honestly, I don't really see this version of Deku muttering. I see him being like 10 times more quiet than when he was in the original timeline. And I can see him talking, but he's only like mentally, like he's speaking to the hive mind, which is all the bugs that are around him. That's how his quirk works, like a hive mind. He's the leader, controlling all the bugs within the vicinity or producing bugs connected directly to himself. Now, here's the issue. Okay, I realize he doesn't seem to have a weakness. So, if he produces more bugs than necessary, he begins to use his own blood cells to do so. So if he overdoes it, he dies. Simply put. That's like the simplest and easiest way to possibly limit his quirk. So, yeah, that's the limit. If he overdoes it or if he starts producing... Let's do it like this. He has enough bugs to fill an entire Titanic boat inside of his body. Yes. And he can produce all of those. If he goes overboard and produces more than that, which he would most likely never need, but if he does, then his quirk will be overused. And he begins to use a lot of his blood in order to make even one. Okay? Like he cough up by probably like 2 gallons of blood for one bug if he overuses it. But of course, he can just simply reabsorb them and get that power back. And he can control outside bugs, but it's only to a certain degree. Okay? But with that being said, he was using the bugs in order to get the answers there for the questions. With that being said, we now time skip on over towards him walking towards the gate. Now, as he walks towards the gate, Ida will approach him. Hi there! You're not gonna go distract that girl! Huh? Deku turns around and looks towards him. Can you please get your arm off my shoulder? Ida says, no, I know what you're planning to do. Huh? Deku would say, what am I planning to do? You're planning to go over there and distract that young lady. You're a horrible person for that. What? Dude, first off, get off me. Secondly, I'm not going over there to distract anyone. I'm simply going so I can get in front of the line and take the test. Who even are you? I am Tenya Ida, a member of the Ida family. Okay, good for you. Leave me alone. Deku then proceeds to walk right past Ida. As he walks past him, Ida begins to march after Deku, but Deku just starts ignoring him. As Ida begins to yap at him, Deku's like, bro, can you shut the fuck? As soon as he says that, the gates open. Once this happens, Deku instantly locks in, with a purple lightning coming off from him, zips inside. Now, 35% One For All is what Deku can handle right now. 35% One For All plus his baseline and has strength. Deku rushes forward towards the first robot he sees, which would be a 3-pointer. One foul swoop. He then yells, shit, I did not come up with attack names. Launching Swarm. He learns he yells out Launching Swarm, unleashing a powerful punch from One For All, combining it with a burst of bugs that shot out. These bugs would shoot inside of the robot, and the force from the punch would make a hole big enough for him to do so. From here, the bugs begin to rapidly, and I mean rapidly, eat the robot apart. As this happens, the teacher's eyes would widen as Zuko zips off, going towards another robot, doing the same thing, with his bugs eating and tearing the robots apart. All Might sees it and he's like, oh wow, I didn't know they were this deadly. He thinks, and they're like, whoa, who is that kid? All Might then would smirk. He then would say, that's Izuku Midoriya, Quirk Swarm. This was the kid that saved that other student from the sludge incident. I talked to him myself. You know, bit of a interview with the kid. The kid's quirk is called Swarm. He's incredibly powerful, and from what I see, he's even more powerful than what I expected. His bugs being capable of doing something like that is just unbelievable. As they look forward, Deku lands and he cracks his neck. Ugh. He begins to jump up and down. From here, he goes after robot, delivering destructive punch after destructive punch. Everything goes crazy until eventually the zero pointer arrives, and everyone begins to freak out and run. Everyone except for Deku. Deku sees all the other kids running past him, and then he hears a call for help. Deku quickly takes into actions, as instantly his bugs fly back towards him, and immediately they would literally make a cloud. He gets on it, and they fly him towards the scene where Ochako is. Now, like I said, it's a hive mind, and as we know, One For All is sort of a hive mind, just not on the same level. Combining that with his quirk, every insect inside of his body has access to a portion of One For All, which means that all these insects are hella fast for bugs. They literally zoom him all the way on over towards Ochako within a matter of a few seconds. Literally, in a matter of a few seconds, he's dragged on over towards Ochako. He makes it on over towards Ochako, and quickly, Izuku jumps upwards towards the robot. Weaving hand signs, jumps towards the robot, and instantly, he activates 100%, not being aware of his own power already, and hits the same Detroit Smash he would have in the original timeline, completely obliterating the robot. Now, his insects will quickly begin to all flood towards the part of his body where his arm was broken in. Now, Izuku never knew this was going to happen. He doesn't even know what's happening. But as it happens, and the smoke begins to form off of his arms, and he begins to feel his bugs dying. And he begins to get really upset and really confused. But as they end up a few hundred of them die, his arm is healed, and he looks forward confused, realizing that his bugs can literally heal him. But of course, in the process, they die. A tear will go down his eyes, feeling so many of his friends just died just then. All Might and the others would wonder what happened. Izuku walks forward, he picks the rubble up off of Ochako. He lifts her up and he would immediately carry her on over towards Recovery Girl. Ochako the entire time would be blushing. Whoa. This kid seems to be really cool and she doesn't even know what his quirk is yet. That's going to change her opinion really quickly though. From here, Izuku will go off and he gets his letter from UA, declaring that Izuku Midoriya scored first place in the overall UA entrance exams. With a huge smile on his face, he knows that he has the opportunity to be one of the greatest heroes in the world now. With Izuku walking off and heading home, with Izuku the next week walking inside of the school, now of course he'll be lost like he would in the original timeline, eventually making it into Class 1A. Now when he does, Bakugo and Ida would still be arguing as they would in the original timeline. Deku would immediately go towards the back of the classroom and he sits down. Bakugo drops his conversation with Ida and immediately walks towards Deku. You got some goddamn nerve, you damn nerd. Coming here knowing for a fact that you're not on my level. He slams his hand on his desk, making a little explosion. He stares into Izuku's eyes. Izuku just looks upward towards him and says, you've got to get over this weird ass obsession with me. Bakugo then says, what do you mean, you nerd? Deku then says, look around, Bakugo. This isn't middle school anymore. Leave me alone. Bakugo hears this, and his eye begins to twitch repeatedly, as he wants to literally punch Izuku right now. But as he balls up his fist and little crackles begin to form, quickly he stops as Aizawa enters into the classroom. Aizawa is smelling a bit of smoke in the air and says, I don't know what you did, what any of you did, but my name is Shota Aizawa. I'm going to be your UA instructor. He then would say, if any of you are going to be problem children, I'll make it clear right now. His eyes glowing red and his hair rising up. I will immediately have you expelled. Understand me? Deku hears those words and his eyes would widen, and Bakugo's eyes would widen as well. Bakugo will have his mouth shut immediately. Deku then would nod his head as Aizawa said, "Good. You have some understanding, don't you?" Bakugo would nod. Perfect. With that being said, slowly but surely the rest of the class would enter, and like normal, Aizawa would give them their same speech. But of course, he gives them their UA little gym uniforms, I'm assuming, and he sends them outside. Like normal, Minato was to have his creepy little perverted scene. But as this happens, Izuku would have all the spiders inside of the wall begin to crawl out of the hole. This makes the entire boys' side of the locker room freak the hell out. But this actually makes Bakugo and Deku, for the first time, agreeing on anything. They both burst out laughing, loud as hell. And everyone there is just like, "What's so funny, man? Are you not freaking out right now?" Deku then would say, "Nah, calm down, it's just my quirk." He sends all the bugs back into their rooms or their holes, wherever they were inside the wall. He then would say he did that because Minato was being a creep. He then would say, next time, he'll let them eat them. Minato just eat me. They're just little bugs. All of them can't eat me. Deku then laughs hysterically before saying he has enough bugs inside of his body to fill up this entire room. They can definitely eat them. They could probably eat everyone in the room, actually. That's literally impossible. Look at your frame. Deku then starts laughing before saying his body works sort of like a pocket dimension. That's at least what his doctor says, which hosts all types of insects inside of him. And apparently there's even insects that don't exist within the real world inside of me. Ones I don't know yet. He then smiles. There's a lot of things about my quirk I don't really understand. A lot of things other people aren't going to understand. A lot of secrets that I've just now learned. Anyways, let's go outside. The rest of them will make it outside, and the ball will be thrown towards Izuku. Izuku Midoriya, you scored first place in UA entrance exams. Throw the ball as far as you can using your quirk. Deku would toss the ball into the air before he ends up activating One for All, catching the ball, railing his head back 35%. He launches the ball with a massive burst of wind being unleashed. Aizawa then says, great score. 2,997. Kirishima yells out, "Oh wow, this is gonna be cool," just like he would in the original timeline. Actually, I'm gonna say everything from here will play out the same, except for obviously Deku getting higher and higher placings. But for the most part, most of the scores stays the same. Deku's just simply slid up to the top of most scores. Side to side, Deku has that really well since he can. You know what? I'm gonna give him more powers. He can climb on walls, so side to side, he's really good at that. And the grip strength, he crushed it. One for all. Speed, one for all. Honestly, everything he does with One for All. So with that being said, we can now time skipping over towards him heading home. I say this conversation plays out pretty much the same. And honestly, you know what? This is 22 minutes. This is a good enough time for this little test video to be over. With that being said, this is going to be the end of this video. Now, if you guys would like, I can give you a part 2. If you guys would like, actually, if you guys like this video, you'll get the movie. Alright, you'll just get the movie. So with that being said, this is going to be ending off this video. And like, subscribe, hype, and all that good stuff.